going on, guys? This is Real Estate Q&A Sessions, week 69. 69 weeks straight of bringing you guys nothing but straight value. What's going on? As always, every Thursday, 12 o'clock. Well, as of today, 12:06. That doesn't matter. We're still here. Again, week 69. So, welcome, guys. Thank you for always supporting, showing up, and popping in here and listening to me talk. As always, every single week. This is Real Estate Q&A Sessions. We've done this 69 weeks straight. Our goal is 100. Well, first it was a year straight, and now our goal is 100. So after this week, we'll have 30 more weeks to go, and we'll have our 100th episode. So yes, guys, always appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Thank you for showing up. As always, you guys already know this is Real Estate Q&A Sessions, where you come here and ask anything, everything real estate related. I will do my best to answer the question. As always, I am not a guru. Let's go ahead and get the disclaimers out the way. I'm not a guru. I'm not a coach. Well, I can't be you can consider me a coach in a way. But I'm not a guru. Not a guru. So, you can listen to my advice or you cannot. Doesn't matter to me. It's up to you guys. I just have done a lot of stuff in the game, and hey, yeah, I'm not somebody who's done one deal and acting like I know everything and can help you and sell a course. No, that's not what I am. But you guys choose whether you want to listen to me or not, or take my advice. It's up to you, right? Housekeeping rules, as always, guys. Screenshot this, post to your story, let folks know what we're doing. For the simple fact that I'm not charging y'all. I'm not charging y'all for my time. I am not collecting email addresses and spamming y'all and saying, hey, look, buy this, buy that, whatever. I'm not. I just come here and dedicate an hour to you guys each and every week, and I do my best to do so amongst my busy schedule. And so, for that, the only thing I ask you guys is to post me on your story. I don't want to be on your feed. I want to be on your feed. I just want to, just post to your story. Be gone in 24 hours. Because when you guys post on your story, somebody new comes in, they never thought to come in, and they get their questions answered, and you, therefore, get some more value. So, thank you for showing up and doing just that. If you guys find value in the show, then do that. Shout out to y'all for popping up in here early. I don't know where y'all was at last week. We got Metro Rec LLC. What's going on? Mark, what's up, baby? Sneaker Fade, what's up? KB King, how you living? KB King's already asking questions. Basically, he says, what is your end game? Do you plan on staying with single family, or do you plan on scaling up multifamily and commercial real estate? It's funny because I had a meeting with my lender yesterday, and we did lunch. And shout out to all the lenders out there, guys. If you have a lender and you can get repeated business out of them and things are flawless and cool, take them out to lunch, show them a good time, tell them you appreciate them. I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have a great lender. So I always like to show love to my lenders and stuff like that. So anyway, they had this, well, he asked me kind of like the same question, not so much in game but like goal. My goal is 100 doors. So I am here in Baltimore for business. I'm not here for pleasure. I'm not here to settle down for the rest of my life. Now, don't get me wrong. Actually, let me not say that, because the way God works is crazy. I said I would never live here, and look what happened. So I'm not going to say that I am not going to ever live here forever. I don't know. God, he got his own plans. You know what I'm saying? But I would prefer if this is a business location for me, and I don't plan on leaving until I hit that goal of 100 doors. Now, how close I am to 100 doors, I will never tell you guys. That's just one thing I keep close to the vest how many doors I have. Nothing against y'all, but can't tell y'all everything. But yeah, when I get to 100 doors, that is my goal. However that happens, whether it's through single family, multifamily, commercial real estate, that's what I plan on doing. The goal is just 100 doors right now. Obviously there's other goals in mind, but the quickest way to get to 100 is what I'm trying to do. If that means I got to buy, all single units, great. If I can mix some multi-units, when you start getting into, I think most units I have a couple triplexes. So, if I can start getting into 12 units, 18, 24, 32, those kind of deals, that's what I'm aspiring to get to, so I can close that gap a little bit quicker in order to get to 100. And if that means consolidating some of my portfolio to, get a larger number of doors, I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? That's another way you can leverage you guys' rental properties, is if you consolidate and use that equity and money that you just received to put toward a larger deal to get more doors. So that is my thing. Commercial real estate, whole other ball game. Taking it a step at a time. But yeah, if commercial real estate is going to be a vehicle to get me 100, cool. Because once I get to 100 doors, guess what? I'll see y'all in Tahiti in the winter. Out of here. Sneaker Fee says, why is it so hard for me to find HOI in Florida? I'm supposed to close September 3rd, but no one wants to insure. Oh, homeowners insurance. What are you doing to the property? Answer that question. And why? Who are you reached out to, and what has their feedback been? Answer that question for me, Sneak Fee. Mark says, best way to insure a property just bought that's not in your primary residence. Oh, he's answering Sneak Fee. Is it unprofessional for my realtor not to be at closing because he said he have prior engagement? I'm gonna say yes. Does your realtor technically have to be there? No. But I will say that if your realtor is not there and it's your first time closing on your first house, I will say that's some bullshit. They should be there. He should be there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the prior engagement is. If his family understands, medical understand. But if you're representing a client, because when you go to closing, your agent is all still advocating for your, he's still advocating in your best interests. And so when the title company is going over all the docs and making sure that the numbers make sense, X, Y, Z, blah, 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 and asking the correct questions, that's what your agent's supposed to do. That's what he's getting paid for. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he should be at your first closing, and he should be there with a bottle of champagne and a gift. That's just what we do as agents. Now, not me, because y'all know I don't operate in that same capacity, but I know how the game goes. So, yeah, Sneaker Fee, your agent should be at closing to congratulate you, to make sure that you get sent off in the best way possible, and all the pertinent questions are asked. So, yeah, Why? What is he doing? Why is he not at your closing? And when are you closing, by the way? Because you still ain't told us. When we supposed to be celebrating. So, yeah, come on, Sneaker Fee. Is that Deja? What's going on? Appreciate you popping in here, showing some love as always, guys. This is Real Estate Q&A Sessions week 69 weeks straight of giving you guys nothing but value in an hour out of my time every Thursday. It's every Thursday, 12 o'clock. Come here, ask anything, everything real estate related. I'll do my best to answer it if I can. So yeah, outside of that, guys, while Sneaker Fee is answering my question, and you got two questions, Sneaker Fee. One, when you close it, and two, what is the deal? What's the feedback with the insurance companies and why they won't insure you? I'm pretty lost on that part. He said he's going out of town. I close September 3rd. Is that Labor Day? Or Memorial? No. Labor Day? Labor Day and Memorial Day. I think that's Labor Day. Sounds like he's going out of town Labor Day. Tell that man you expect him to be at closing. You know what I'm saying? And if he's not going to be at closing, you want some business, dude? If he's not going to be at closing, make sure that the title company sends you a HUD-1 at least 48 hours before closing. Actually, as soon as possible. As soon as they're done with the HUD-1. The HUD-1, for you guys that don't know what a HUD-1 is It is the document sheet that you get at closing that has all the number breakdowns. So when you close, you're going to get a HUD-1, and it's going to break down all the costs that come with you and your purchase. It's going to have a seller side and it's going to have a buyer side. It's going to break down all the numbers to where it shows what the seller is getting at the end of the day, and then it's going to break down all the numbers to show what the buyer has to pay at the end of the day. And that is you don't want to get that document at settlement, because things can sometimes not add up, right? And you don't want to be at the settlement table trying to figure that out. So normally what's supposed to happen is the title company is supposed to give you that HUD-1. It's a prelim HUD-1 days before the actual closing, so you and your agent can run through the numbers, do the calculations, make sure everything is on the up and up, and make sure everything's tight. There is situations where even if they give that to you beforehand, a couple days beforehand, you run the numbers, things are not right, and you at least have the opportunity to tell the title company to fix it, or ask questions, or whatever the case may be. So that's why you want it done beforehand, because you don't want to get to closing and you're trying to figure out why you have to pay $2,000 more because you weren't informed of ground rent, or having to redeem ground rent. That's some Baltimore stuff, or up north stuff, ground rent. It sucks. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? So that's why you want to make sure that you get your prelim HUD-1 as soon as possible. So if he's not going to be there, he needs to be asking for a prelim HUD-1 before he goes out of town, and he reviews it with you to make sure that the numbers make sense. Make him do his job. Sneakface says they say because there's a lot of homeowner insurance fraud going on in Florida. Okay, what does that got to do with you getting homeowners insurance? This has been a learning experience for sure. He sent me to showing along with the lockbox code. Oh yeah, he sucks. Now, if you knew what you were doing and you were a seasoned investor, yeah, okay, technically, agents are not supposed to give out lockbox codes to their clients and the client just show up by themselves. Technically, that's not supposed to happen. You can get in big trouble for that, right? Because if, not saying you sneaker fiend, but if somebody were to go and do something and the agent's not there or whatever, they can report them. Bad situation. Now, this guy sucks. I'm just gonna say that he shouldn't be sending you to the houses by yourself with the code. It sounds like he's about to collect a check and he hasn't been doing his job. That's what it sounds like to me. First time ever, and he's aware of this. Yeah, he hit me offline. I don't know. I mean, it sounds. Did you guys already have the appraisal? Mr. Thomas, to you, what's going on? Jocelyn_Williams, what's up? Appreciate y'all for popping in here. Guys, while I wait for Sneaker Feed to respond, this is Real Estate Q&A sessions week 69 weeks straight, giving you guys nothing but straight value. Guys can ask questions, anything really, that you guys have any questions about real estate investing. In regards to real estate investing, whether it's buying your first house, 10th house, contractors, loans, wholesaling, rentals, bird strategy, financing, whatever, you can ask. Pop right there in the comment section right there. You can ask right there, and or where you see the question mark, you can hit that button and ask your questions there as well. We do this every single Thursday, guys, 12 o'clock, sometimes 12:15, because sometimes I'm late. Whatever. Anyway, Sneak Feed says, nope, first time ever. He's aware of this. Got you. Yes, and the inspection all was done. Okay. So it sounds like you guys are in the back half of your closing process. The fact that he's not there or not going to be there, maybe he had it already set up, maybe, and I don't know if your closing date had, moved. Maybe you want to see if he can, maybe you want to ask the title company if you can close when he gets back, just to make sure that he does his job and make sure that you get sent off in the right way. Maybe you can push it a couple days or something like that. Ask him when he's getting back. Say, hey, can we close earlier? Can we close later? But I need you at my closing to make sure that, one, everything is done the right way. Two, so I can get my damn bottle of champagne. And if he doesn't get you a bottle of champagne or a gift, you know, need to drop. Mr. Thompson, you says, finishing up my real estate license, what would you say should be the focus for the first 30 days as a licensed agent? What I would say is getting comfortable on the phone. Getting comfortable on the phone is going to be important, because obviously, you want some work? You want some work, buddy? So, side note, guys, I'm at the job site. We got a job this morning. If you guys saw my story, we're painting in front of a house for a client, and I'm sitting outside, obviously watching the guys, and people are walking by looking at the job. And, you know, I don't know if they seem like they're interested in getting some work done, so I'm here. So outside of that, engineering love, what's going on? So your first 30 days, you gotta figure out what kind of agent you want to be, right? The most important thing and skill that you're gonna be able to bring to an agent, to a client, is being able to comp properties and assess what value houses hold, right? Because obviously your client's gonna be looking to you for advice. They're gonna be looking to you to figure out, you know, is this a good buy or not, right? And so you want to be able to understand how to hold on, brother. I see you, engineering love. I got you. So you want to be able to understand how to comp properties in the right way, the best way, because whether you're dealing with a homeowner or whether you're dealing with an investor that might not know how to comp properties or assess properties from a numbers perspective, you want to be that person. So in order to get good at comping, you have to comp properties all day, every day, right? So when you're in your first 30 days, you want to set up a marketing campaign, whether that's letters, mailers, whatever. Get set up on Remind. Ask your broker about Remind. Get set up on there, and you want to pull a list, and you want to send some mailers out with your little flyer and saying, hey, you know, I can sell you. They'll have the templates, right? You want to get a mailing campaign set out within your first 30 days. That means sellers are probably going to be calling you, and that's where you're going to get your phone experience. Getting on the phone is the most important thing you can also do as well, and getting comfortable with talking and going over objections with sellers, so that you can obviously be able to answer anything, everything when those objections come, so they can enlist you as their agent. So I said comping properties, getting on Remind, and ordering a mailing campaign and sending some mailers out. That's a good start for your first 30 days. Always comp. Always be looking for properties. If you don't know what comping is, maybe I'll explain what comping is in a couple minutes. But yeah, let me know if that answers your question. Guys, y'all popping up in here. Appreciate y'all for showing up. Dejan, what's up, baby? Kyle the King. Dark Skin is in. What's going on, brother? Yeah. What's going on, y'all? So if this is y'all first time here, this is Real Estate Q&A Sessions, week 69. I do this every single week. Been doing it for 69 weeks straight. Where basically come here for an hour. You guys can ask anything, everything real estate related. I will do my best to answer your questions. I'm not a guru, so you can take my advice or not take my advice. If I don't know the answer to your question, I don't know it, right? I don't know everything. The real estate game is very vast. So, but I have a lot of experience in pretty much everything. So if you guys got questions, ask right there in the comment section below or where the question mark is, and we'll get it rocking. So let me see here. Engineering love. I know you asked, were you trying to go live? You trying to hop on here, screen share? If you are, go ahead, shoot me another request. Deja says, looking to do house hacking as my first investment, but I want to know what are the best websites to find a good 4-unit. A good website, I think everybody's looking for a good website. What is that damn website? LoopNet. Check out loopnet.com. There's a lot of commercial buildings. That's just like the MLS. In a sense, but the public can use it. But look on LoopNet. LoopNet usually more than likely has multi-units on there. Now, the thing with LoopNet is, if the property reached LoopNet, chances are it's probably overpriced. That does not mean that there aren't deals that pop up on LoopNet. That just means that you have to sift and search and wait for something that's gonna make sense. Now, also keep in mind, everybody's numbers are their own numbers and how they run numbers. So what might not make sense to me to buy might make sense for you to buy, right? Completely on you. Also, another thing that you can do is link up with an agent. I don't know. I think you said you're in the DMV area. I'm an agent. My fiance is an agent. Link up with an agent and have them put you on a drip campaign for multifamily properties. And when one pops up, you'll get an automatic email sent to you, and you'll be able to assess and figure out whether it's, a good buy for you or not, and just go through the process. But you want to start getting some properties sent to you. You want to be in front of properties and be able to find something that's going to work. So in order to do that, get put on a drip campaign. Also check out LoopNet for your commercial properties. Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. Also, another way is if you start doing some off-market marketing. Now, guys, told you, everybody's out here looking for multi-units. Everybody's trying to house hack everybody and their mother. Everybody. So competition is fierce. And the inventory is very low, poquito. So what you guys got to do is, if you want to do some off-market marketing, which requires a little bit more effort, a little bit more time, a little bit more money, you may be able to target sellers that are you may be able to directly target sellers that are multifamily owners and they might want to sell. Baltimore's a city with a decent amount of multi-units. Not every one of them is going to make sense. Not every one of them is in the greatest condition. But if you're willing to put the sweat equity behind it, put some money into these multi-units, you can do what you got to do. And yeah, so, but keep in mind, everybody is looking for multi-units. Everybody. So it's either you're going to pay a premium or you're going to have to learn how to fish. And when I say learn how to fish, that means off-market marketing. Find your own deal, source your own deal, direct to seller. And if you're not able to do that, or if you're not willing to do that, then you're probably going to pay a premium. I'm just keeping it funky with you. Hope that answered your question. Give me a thumbs up if it did, thumbs down if it didn't. If you got any more additional questions, Deja, let me know. This is where you guys can ask questions free. Dejan says, do you have any lenders who specialize in HELOC? No, I don't. Are you trying to buy up here in Maryland? Or are you trying to buy down there in Florida? Where you at, bro? I don't even know where you at, man. I know you be all over the place, man, traveling everywhere. But no, my lenders are lenders. So here's my thing, right? With my properties and my portfolio, I've only dealt with one lender. So, and that's a good thing for me. I haven't dealt with any other lenders, and I'm talking about a hard money lender. My hard money lender I've been working with since I started my portfolio 2 years ago, and they've funded almost all my deals. My other deals I funded a different way, but in regards to financing, that's the only person that I've dealt with. I have dealt with Navy Federal before. I don't know if you have already talked with them, but that's really it. And I haven't done any HELOCs at all. Mr. Thompson, you says, I think starting at wholesaling has really helped. Yes. So the reason why wholesaling is important is because you literally learn. You learn how to source deals. You learn how to attack a deal. You learn how to assess a deal. Not everybody has that capability. There's a lot of people out here buying houses the wrong way. Not saying the wrong way, but there's a lot of people buying houses where they think they're going to make some money and they don't, because they didn't assess or didn't know how to run the comps or run the numbers, right? Perfect example. I'll give you guys a perfect example of the level of detail that you have to have when it comes to comping and assessing numbers and houses and deals. And as a wholesaler, this is how if you pick up this skill, which you will, if you become a good wholesaler, you can basically do anything, right? Acquisitions, that's the key. Acquisitions. It's not about how you finance after a certain point. It's the acquisition. Like finding deals. That becomes the reason. Hold on, what did you want? Hold on, guys. What's up?
Maybe I need the mirror for the door.
Oh, you talking about the flashing? You already got it in?
Yeah. Yeah, I got it. The door is.
The door is in?
Yeah, only for the start. I like it.
Hold on, guys. Okay. When I get done here, I'll come take a look at it. When I get done here, I'll come take a look at it.
Okay.
All right.
Fine.
Hey, lunchy.
Yeah. Jose, go for the lunch.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So he says, Mr. Thomas says, I'm trying to bridge the gap, I guess, from wholesaling to now dealing with agents. Deontay, what's up, brother? Appreciate you popping in here, man. That's my guy. Trying to bridge the gap, I guess, from wholesaling to now dealing with agents. So yeah, guys, let me run through this scenario. It might help you, it might not. But guys that's been in the game like Deontay, they know how powerful it is to be able to comp and assess, even from a wholesaler standpoint of view, deals. The other day, 2 days ago, deal got posted that morning. Y'all know I move very quick on deals. If I see something, I'm on it, and I probably got an offer in hand within 2 hours. So I'm very quick. Deal popped up, everything looked great. Called the agent, did my little magic with them, got them on board, went and saw the property. Now I told you guys, things typically always look great before you get out to the house. You have a rental number in mind, you have an ARV number in mind, and you ran your numbers, the numbers look great. Get out there, a lot of times it's a different story. So the house was some bullshit. Obviously the renovation cost that I thought I was going to do, which was 30, wasn't going to work. It's probably going to end up being around 45, which still did not mess up my numbers. So the house was fine. The house was like, all right, it was what I thought it was, right? With the exception of $15K more in work. Deal still worked. I enlisted I gave my offer. Agent was going to do their thing, make sure everything was going to get pushed through. The one thing that kind of bothered me, that I could not shake, and guys, do not buy emotionally. If you buy emotionally, you'll get screwed in this game. I'm trying to keep it funky with y'all. I had a gut feeling, and as much as I wanted to buy this deal, there was something that was nagging me and bothering me. And this is something that you guys should also take in consideration before you buy a house, right? It's not just about the house. It's about the house. If you're doing a flip, right? It's not just about the house. It's about the house and your block. Your house and your block compared to other blocks. So just because you have comps on your street and they're on a different block, either up or down, same street, does not mean that these comps are going to be the same. So in a city like Baltimore, where it's block to block, you have to be cognizant of that. So if I'm on the 3900 block and I have comps on the 4000 block and I have comps on the 3800 block that are selling for, let's say, 160, well, and I look at my block and I see that my block is not as desirable as the other blocks. I got a couple board ups. I got some dope boys on the corner. The house next door to mine on the left is vacant. The house to my right is vacant, or has a bunch of bushes and trees and stuff in the houses literally bordering my subject property. And then you go to the block up and you go to the block down. No board ups, looks a little bit better, grass is maintained. If they're selling for 160 on those two blocks, I'm probably not going to get that, right? Because you have to understand that there are external elements outside of your control that will dictate whether or not you can sell a house for a specific value or not. So if they're getting top dollar over in this on this block on the same street and top dollar on that block on the same street, but our block looks like trash and all these external elements we can't control, we might not get the same ARV, which in turn might throw off our numbers. And so if we go and say, all right, I think we can sell for 160, just like those other blocks, and those blocks are nice, we can sell it for 2. We can sell for 162. Cool. You get out there, you do the rehab, and then you put the house on the market. Then your house starts sitting on the market. You go back, you go 15 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. You're getting killed by holding costs because you're trying to get this number that people aren't willing to pay. Because if I could pay 160 to be on that block, I'd rather do that. Not to mention, guys, there was a comp right across from my house, right across the street, for 120. It sold in February 2020, right before COVID hit. And I'm sitting here trying to get an ARV of 160. Great, but I can't ignore that 120. I can't ignore that 120. So at minimum, I'm probably going to get 120. At max, I know I'm not going to get 160 because it's going to be hard to sell a house for 160 on this block looking like the way it does. So in turn, it threw the numbers off. And it was something about the street. I could do the rehab. I can purchase it. I can do all that stuff. But the street itself I did not feel like in trying to picture myself as a buyer, getting in the mindset of a buyer, I did not envision somebody paying 160 on that block. And so therefore, I did not go after the deal. I backed out, right? And that is, I gave y'all some real shit advice. And I don't usually cuss on here. I try not to. But best advice I've gotten is the best deal you do is the deal you never done. The best deal you'll ever do is the deal you never did. That is facts, right? You don't have to go out here and buy out every house, because every house might make you go out of business, right? And for that house, it was simply just that it was in my gut. It was a gut feeling. I don't think I can sell this house for 160. If I sell it for 145, I'm not going to be able to get the number. I'm not going to be able to get the profit out of the deal to make the rehab worth it. I just went up $15K in my renovation costs, and now I have to go from 160 down to 145. It's not going to work. I could have attempted, but if I have too many red flags, at least 3, I'm probably not going to do the deal, right? And that's just from experience and not letting emotions rule whether or not I want a house or not, right? The numbers have to make sense. Now, also keep this in mind. Buying houses, once you get in the rhythm of doing this stuff, you can't forget that these are still risk. They're still, even if the numbers look good, it's still a risk. All this stuff is a risk. You know what I'm saying? And you can't forget that. And so if you have a pit feeling in your stomach when you go and purchase a house and pull the trigger, you're supposed to. Because the moment you start buying houses and not feeling like or disregarding the fact that this is still a risk, you're going to find yourself in trouble. So take all that into consideration. Yes, I know I went off on a tangent, but I had to get that out because that is the level of detail you need to have, and understanding about not just the numbers, not just the property, but your surroundings. Put yourself in the mind of a buyer, right? If I'm a new family and I'm trying to, whoop-de-whoop, I need to be in a safe area. Some people in certain areas like that, you're only going to attract certain buyers. A certain person will only live there. And guess what that does? If a certain person is the only person that can live in your flip, guess what that does to your buyer's pool? It limits your buyer's pool. And you want to have the largest buyer's pool. You're not going to flip in great areas sometimes. But if the numbers don't make sense, if the environment don't make sense, sometimes it's easier to pass. It's easier to pass on a deal than to take it on and go off faith that you'll get the number that you think. You need to have some concrete evidence or some concrete supporting things that tell you or show you that I can get the ARV. Here's 1 or 2 risks, but I'm willing to take that. It shouldn't be, here's 5 or 6 risks that I might not get the number I want. Well, guess what? You probably won't pass on the deal. Anyway, sorry guys, I went off on a tangent. Damn, y'all know how I get. I get real, trying to save y'all. I'm trying to help y'all. This is what I do. I try to help y'all in the best way I can. All right? Remember, the best deal you did is a deal you never done. I promise you that. It's easier to pass up on a deal than to be desperate, secure it, and lose. And be sweating at night. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Mr. Thomas, I hope that helped. Give me a thumbs up if it did. Guys, if this is your first time here at Real Estate Q&A Sessions, what's going on? Estoy, Lexi, Only Gabe, what's going on? Courtney, Shamel. If I misspelled you guys' name, I apologize. I apologize. So, but if this is your first time here, you can ask me anything, everything real estate related. I'll do my best to answer it. This is 69 weeks straight, every Thursday, 12 o'clock. Housekeeping rules, since I do this every single week and I give you guys these gems like Mr. Thomas just tweeted on here. Not tweeted, but put in the comment section. Screenshot me, post it to your story. Let folks know what we're doing each and every Thursday. That's the only thing I ask for. I'm not asking for your money. I spend my time. You know what I'm saying? I spend my time doing this and pouring into y'all the best way I can, and this is what I do. So that's how you guys can help me. Thumbs up by Mr. Thomas. Definitely appreciate you. Appreciate you for asking a great question. I don't even think you asked a question. I think I just went off on a tangent. Oh, man. Cotton King says, there's your hard money lender, lend for rentals. Yes. So my that's mainly what I do. I do flips now. I just started doing flips this year. Not my first flip, but I just started doing flips this year. And my goal, I don't want to do a bunch of flips at one time because I still got my rental properties that I'm renovating too. But flips themselves, I set a goal this year to do one a quarter, and so far I am on track. I did one first quarter, I did one second quarter, and I'm on my third one in the third quarter. So right now I'm looking for my fourth quarter deal that's going to be a flip, and it's been a little tough. But yeah, so outside of the flips, my normal renovations are for rentals. They're for rental properties. I think this year we did, how many rentals did I pick up this year? A couple. I picked up a couple rentals this year. So most of the deals I do are rentals. My lender has lent on those rentals on all of them. And basically, I'm just utilizing the BRRRR strategy. If you guys don't know what the BRRRR strategy is, put a thumbs up and I'll explain it. But I think Kylie King, I think you know what the BRRRR strategy is. And so yes, they lend. Most lenders will lend on deals that are BRRRR strategy type deals. That's the only way to get a BRRRR done. So yes, they lend on those. Sneak Fiend says, what would you upgrade first in a rental to make more profit? Good question. Good question, because there are such things that when you get a rental property, there are things that make sense to do and there are things that don't make sense to do, right? You have to consider what area you're in, and the quality of rental properties in that area. So if I'm in an A+ area, if I'm in an area like I'm in right now, it's called Fed Hill. I'm in Fed Hill right now. For the Baltimore folks, y'all know what Fed Hill is, right? If I'm in Fed Hill, and I'm asking for $1,800, $1,600 to $1,800, there are certain things that people are going to expect with paying $1,600 to $1,800. They don't want the 70s cabinets and the laminate floors, the peel and stick. No, not laminate, but the peel and stick vinyl floors and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a certain expectation. Now, some people have AC, some people don't. But just understand that at different price points, there's going to be different expectations. So if somebody's paying $2,500 in rent, you damn right they better have a washer and dryer in there. You damn right they better have some AC in there. You get what I'm saying? So on the flip side, if you're in an area where, like a C-class area or D-class area, some of those things might not be as requested, right? Or not requested, but as necessary. You're not saying you're gonna go put cheaper things into the property, but you also don't want to over renovate and overdo a renovation inside a rental property if you're not going to get the return out of it. So if you're only going to get $1,000 a month and you're about to go spend $10,000 and put a central AC unit in the property, look around. Do other comps just have window units, a furnace and window units? If they do, think about how long it's going to take you to get that $10,000 back that you invested in the property. So your systems, you want to make sure your systems are great, right? And to your point, Sneaker Fiend, this is a good question, and I've had to learn this. Your systems, right? A lot of times people, as long as the house looks nice, it doesn't have to be overdone, right? You're not competing with Bozzuto or, none of these other high profile places. You just want to run a property that is livable and looks decent. You know what I'm saying? Your systems, your water heaters. You want to make sure your water heater is new. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure your furnace works, or your central AC. If you have central AC already, you want to make sure that that functions. You want to make sure your plumbing is okay, right? Do you need to replace your plumbing? You want to make sure your electric's good, right? These are the systems. Your roof. How good is your roof, right? You need to replace your roof. These are the things that are important when you buy a rental property, because when you put a tenant in there and you have problems with any one of these things, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, roofs, water heaters, heating, cooling, these things are the things that are going to kill your profits. They're going to kill it, especially when you have tenants in place and now your tenant's upset and, they're withholding rent. And they're saying, oh, well, I don't want to pay this because been there, done that. Your refrigerator, is it a new refrigerator? Does it leak? All this stuff. You just want to make sure that the systems in the house are great before you start putting money into painting and the floors and the countertops and the tile in the shower. That stuff comes second. If we're talking about rental properties, you're in it for the long haul. You're in it to make money, cash flow for years and years and years. And the thing that's going to prevent you from cash flowing for years and years and years is your systems. So if you upgrade your systems on the front end, doesn't matter what the paint color looks like on the wall. Doesn't matter what the cabinets look like. Doesn't matter what the floors look like, right? Doesn't matter. Somebody will live there, right? Your systems. Does the house function? Is it hot water? Do you have good water pressure? Does the roof leak? Does it heat up in the winter? Does it cool down in the summer? Is the drain pipes clogged? That's the kind of stuff you want to pay attention to. If you have some money and you just bought a rental property, your systems first, cosmetics second. Systems first, cosmetics second. That's for anybody buying a rental property and want that rental property to sustain itself for 10, 15, 20 years. Systems first, cosmetics second. What's going on, Brent? Appreciate you popping in here. Internally Rich, what's up? Ali 1000 2020 or Ali 100 2020. What's going on? Appreciate you guys for popping in here. This is Real Estate Q&A Sessions week 69. Guys, I hear every Thursday. Every Thursday. Some weeks is popping, some weeks is not. I guess y'all felt like popping up today, which is fine. I always appreciate you guys. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask anything, everything real estate related right there in the comment section and or where the question mark is. You can ask me anything, everything while I'm supervising a job that we currently have right now. And I'll show y'all. Disregard my truck. But we're painting that house. You guys see? We're painting it, and then we just replaced the front door. They're in there eating lunch, but I've been sitting out here just kind of watching them, making sure everything goes well and swell. I do have my laptop here. Guys, as a real estate investor, I'll tell you the best thing you can do is have you a computer and a Wi-Fi spot, a hotspot. So I am always evaluating deals at any point in time, throughout the day. Oh, yeah. Y'all saw the truck. The truck is messy. If you got a work truck and it ain't messy, you ain't doing no work. Anyway, Internally Rich says, Jim. Yes, Jim. I try to give you guys gems the best way I can. But let's keep it rolling. Deja says, what was your first deal and what were the mistakes you made in your first or second? Oh, yeah. Great question. See, this is what y'all should be asking, right? Like, where did I mess up? Where have I messed up before? Because you want to avoid these mistakes. You want to avoid having to spend money. Now, I'm not telling you guys that you're not going to go out there and mess up. But the best way to learn is to learn from others. So this is a great question. So appreciate you asking that. Mr. Thomas, yeah, my truck is dirty, bro. It's not dirty, man. It's just I got stuff in here. I work, man. I work. But yeah, so Deja asked my first deal. What did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? All that kind of stuff. So my first deal, I bought FHA. The very first thing I did wrong, well, I'm not gonna say I did wrong. I just didn't know. So when I was buying this house, I wanted to buy. I knew I wanted an investment property, but I was also teetering between a house I could live in. And so back in 2017, I was looking at a house to live in, but I was also looking at investment properties. But I wanted the house I live in to be an investment property eventually. I eventually found a duplex. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to live in here. And I was utilizing an FHA loan. So that's perfect. We talk about house hacking, right? Duplex, FHA loan. Perfect. I'm going to live in one unit, rent the other one out. The first mistake I made was, well, for FHA financing, you have to put the house in your name. So I'm not going to say I did that wrong, because if you're utilizing FHA and you're trying to house hack, the house has to be put in your name. So I'm not going to say I did that wrong. Now, for anybody else that's buying houses in company, like any other way, don't put it in your name, put it in an LLC. Anyway, so I did that right. So some of the stuff that I did wrong, I bought a duplex. I did not live in it. I did not live in it. What I did do is I renovated it and put 2 tenants in. I'd say the first thing I did was I might have bought too high. But then again, I got some equity in the house. Things are skyrocketed, so it's pretty good. But where I did mess up is my renovation cost. And so with it being my first house, not knowing jack squat, and that lets you guys know where I've come from, how far I've come in the years. 2017 is when I bought my first property. I didn't know crap. As confidently as I am to talk to you guys now, couldn't do that before. Even when it comes to this contractor side, I'm a GC now. 2017, I didn't know what this was and that was, and you know how much this shit. I didn't know none of that stuff. Didn't know it. So I underestimated my renovation costs. Even though I was utilizing an FHA 203K loan, I underestimated how much it was going to cost me to renovate the property. And that's because when you're buying your first house, it's new to you. Whatever house you guys settle on, you're going to be looking at that house through the rose-colored lenses. Rose-colored lenses. Don't do that. Do not do that. I thought that I was just going to be able to go, ooh, 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 and be done. No. So, ultimately what happened was I was living somewhere else. I did not account for the amount of time it was going to take to renovate the property and the amount of money it was going to take to renovate the property. So while we were renovating, I ran out of money. I had to go ask for a loan, a personal loan, to be able to not only help me finish the rehab, but to cover my monthly expenses. I had to ask for an additional loan, a personal loan. So evaluating a renovation cost was a big mistake for me. The other big mistake was, and I guys, remember this, when you guys are out there looking for investment properties, I'm not talking about turnkey properties. I'm talking about you're out there looking at investment properties. This is one mistake that I also made, and I need you guys to pay attention. I walked through that house. It was an investment property, right? And it was, kind of shabby. And most people understand when you're walking into an as-is property that's kind of shabby, things are going to be cut off. Things are going to be turned off, right? Because it's a shack in here. Well, the one thing that I did not check was the water. The water was off, and I did not ask. I did not ask at one point or another at all, why is the water off? Or can we cut the water on so I can see how it runs? I did not. From the time I found the house to closing, and I probably had at least 3-4 months to ask before I closed on the house, and I did it. Guess when I cut the water on? I cut the water on probably halfway through the rehab. So here I go finding a house, and then I don't cut the water on for maybe 4 or 5 months after I found the house, after I bought it. I cut that water on. And there was a waterfall of water, drainage, a bunch of crap. I will tell you guys, they had that water off for a very specific reason, because they wanted to sell the property. All the plumbing lines throughout the house were cast iron pipes. If you guys don't know anything about cast iron is like this older material, metal, that they use to basically do all the plumbing in all these houses up north. Cast iron is great, but it will eventually crack and break on you at some point in time. It has a lifespan. It rusts out and then it cracks. So imagine if your plumbing lines crack. Can't repair it. We can, but what people do now is they gut the house of the cast iron, and they put PVC and CPVC throughout the house. My first house, I did not do that. And when I cut that water on, I had a crack, a large crack going from it was a duplex, by the way. I had the second floor bathroom, the unit that was on the second floor. There was a crack, there was a drain line that went from that bathroom all the way down to the basement through a wall that separated the first floor and the second floor. That crack ran from the top of that damn pipe all the way down to the basement. So guess what I had to do? I had to take out the wall that separated the first floor unit and the second floor unit from the second floor all the way down to the basement to cut that pipe out. And I could have found this out beforehand. You want to know why it cracked? It cracked because the owners who owned the house prior had tenants that were living in there. They had a dispute, and I guess the tenants, before they left, they threw rocks, dirt, sand, and a bunch of crap down the toilet. They didn't sell the house for 2 years later. So for 2 years, in those pipes was rocks, sand, dirt, with no water on, which means it got hard and stuck together like concrete. Cracked the pipes. I'm just letting y'all know. Most of my issues that I've ever ran into when it comes to buying houses has been plumbing. Plumbing. Check the plumbing everywhere before you buy a house. Check it. Run the water. Flush the toilets. Leave all the water running. Everywhere. In all the sinks. Leave it running. Flush the toilets while you're at it. Just, I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to save y'all. I've been bit in the ass with plumbing multiple times. Even recently. Deontay says water was doo-doo brown. Yes, it was. And I was down there with my plumber, cutting that pipe out and replacing it. That's not a fun thing to do. It's not a fun while you have tenants in there. That's why I said sneaker fiend, replace the plumbing lines before. If you have the opportunity, change that stuff before you get tenants, not after. You wait till after. Now you're dealing with real sewage. It's a bad sight. So yeah, who is that asked me that? Deja. A lot of things to learn on my first deal, and that wasn't even the one thing. Multiple things. Screening tenants. I did a horrible job screening tenants. My first tenant I put in there, I ended up in court with. So be thorough with your screening. If you're gonna hire a property manager, hire a property manager. But good property managers are few and far between, right? So, basically what I'm saying is, you know, if you're going to do your own tenants, be as thorough as possible. If you're going to hire a property manager, make sure that property manager has been vetted and they are as thorough as possible, because you can find yourself in court because of their lack of competency, which has happened to me. So, plumbing, check all your plumbing, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you leave enough cushion in there for incidentals when it comes to your rehab budget and what you plan on doing to the house once you get it. Those are probably the three biggest things that I made mistakes on with my first deal. So yeah, thumbs up if I answered your question, thumbs down if I didn't. I know that was a lot. Ali 100 2020 says, I'm currently renovating a rental property in Pigtown, doing this now with updating systems. Smart. Yes, do that. Ask Deontay. You know, he likes to rip everything out. It don't even matter. I'm ripping everything out and I'm putting all brand new stuff in there. If you rip everything out, put all brand new stuff in there, guess what you don't have to worry about with this investment for the next 10, 15, 20 years? Your systems. So that's why that kind of stuff works. Yo, Rashaad, what's going on? Appreciate you popping in here. Eternally Rich says, how do you become a GC in Baltimore? So what I did was I did a course. I went through a course, I think it was like 2 weekends. Studied the material, and I went and took a test. They have a formal test through a testing company called PSI. You go take the test. It's an open book test. The thing about it is, yes, it's open book, but if you fail, you can't take the test again for another 30 days. As opposed to the real estate license where you pay $60 to take the test. If you fail, you can take it as many times as you want. You just got to keep paying $60. Contractors class is, thing is different. Once you pass the test, then you have to submit your MHIC package to MHIC headquarters, which is located here in Baltimore. And there you will have to be persistent in asking, where is your package? When is it going to get approved? I waited 2 months. I had to wait 2 months to get my actual MHIC license. And when I actually got in contact with somebody at the headquarters, which their phones don't work, you got to set up a... When I finally got there and got in contact with somebody, we never received it. So basically, I just waited 2 months. And y'all still haven't received but y'all cashed my check. Y'all cashed the check that it cost to become a GC. But you don't have my application. Okay. So I made friends with the people there. I filled out another application right there on the spot. It got approved within a week, and I got my number. So I'm just letting you know, that's the process. On the back end half, you're going to have to do some micromanaging. Just letting you know. So yeah, that's how I got my license in Baltimore City. Marty McFly, what's going on, brother? Attraction Photos, what's up? Dangerous with the thumbs up. Thank you. You're welcome. What's going on, Torin? Appreciate you popping in here. Internally Rich says, how much does it cost? So the course was like $200 or $220. I went down to I did it virtually. It was literally like just 2 Fridays, and I went down to DC to pick up my package. It comes with the booklet and all that kind of stuff. It's like $200, and then you take the course. PSI, I can't remember if the exam cost any money, but it might, like $60-$70. And then for the application, I think it's like $350. It's like $300 something or something like that. This is not including what it's going to cost you for your insurance, your surety bond. But yeah, so I mean, I probably spent maybe like $500-$600, and over the course of that time period, and was able to get it. So yeah, relatively, I've made that back 10 times over since then. So worth the investment, if that's what you're planning on doing. Yeah. So guys, this is the real estate Q&A session, week 69. If you have not done so already, you've been sitting in here watching me ramble for an hour, screenshot this and post it to your story. Let folks know what we're doing each and every week. That's the least that's all I ask for, guys. That's all I ask for. Caesar.Laura What's going on? Appreciate you popping in here. This is Real Estate Q&A session week 69, where you can ask anything, everything real estate related, and I'll do my best to answer. We are over an hour, but since we have a large group today, I will continue to rap and run my mouth. So guys, if you have any questions, ask right there in the comment section below, or right there where the question mark is. Doesn't matter what the question is, real estate wise, I'll do my best to answer. I'm not a guru. I just know more than the average Joe. Mr. Thomas says, were you already pretty disciplined, or did that develop over time? In what regards? Disciplined in what regards, Mr. Thomas, to you? Internally Rich says you should connect with NACA too if you aren't registered as a GC with them. So, me and my boy, Neston Wisely, we got some things in play. Got some things we're working on. The real bread is, so there's bread to be made as a GC. There's also bread to be made associating and attaching yourself to different entities and, you know, people and programs and all that kind of stuff. And you know, that's where real money is made. And so yes, I have not done that yet because I'm still managing a bunch of stuff right now and it's still fresh. And but yes, you will see soon. I will be tagging my name to a couple of different things to keep things moving in the best way possible. I hope they finish this damn thing because, you know, we're talking about a day. Like, anyway, Mr. Thomas says to find deals, following through. Was I always disciplined? No. So for the folks that don't know, my background, where I got my foundation came from, I used to work for an investor as an acquisitions manager. This investor was doing about 60 deals a year. And when you're doing 60 deals a year, most people don't even do 3 deals a year, let alone 5. So if a guy is doing 60 deals a year and you're the acquisitions manager, you have to go through and sift through and find a lot of deals throughout the year. So if I'm doing all what I do right now and I'm only able to do, I think in 2019 I did 7 deals. 2020 I slowed it up. I think to this year so far we've done maybe 4 or 5 deals. Don't know. But at my pace right now, I would need to hire somebody to expand. This dude's doing 60. That's a lot of deals that you got to bring to the table to make sure that his 3 crews and his and their company thrives. So I was deal hunting every single day. I learned how to operate the MLS and scour and scan every single morning and sift through what's bull, what's not. I learned how to run numbers. I learned how to go out and assess, all right, you know, how much is this going to cost? Now, I'm not always going to be correct, right? But I am more accurate than somebody that doesn't know how to do this. But I had to do this every single day. This was my job. And so that is how I learned. And I got more, that's not where I got disciplined. I got disciplined after I went out and did my own deals, started doing my own deals. And the first deal I did, I bought too high. And I didn't see the effects of buying too high and being in lacking discipline until the back end of that deal, right? Where the consequences reared their ugly head and ultimately lost some money. When you lose money, the best teacher in this game is to learn from others, but also getting out there and messing up, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. I have most of my experiences come from messing up. I'm not scared to, well, I am scared to mess up. Every time you mess up could be the one time you're out of business. But I've been able to keep going and moving. And so that's where kind of like the disciplines come into place. And also I have a foundation. I have a portfolio of rentals that I'm fine on. I could be a little bit more selective now. You know what I'm saying? But you should always be like that. I know people that have bought, once you learn how to buy a house, anybody can go buy a house, right? Where it gets tough is buying houses that make sense. And so I know people that just buy. They just buy, and then they find themselves in bad situations after they bought, and it's a direct correlation to this probably wasn't a good deal to begin with. And so once you go through that a couple times, you get a little bit more, you start becoming a little bit more aware of the risk and associating those risks to whether or not this is a good purchase or not. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's, thing is, hold on. What's up?
Gang nails.
What are you looking for? You looking for a I think I knew what you're looking for. Hold on, guys. I don't have that. You talking about the for the Brad nails?
Yeah, for the tree. Can you open? I can look in here.
Thought I had. Oh, here it is. Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Ah. Yeah.
Thank you, boss.
Woo! All right. Yeah, that happens sometimes. I forgot where I was at. I'm pretty sure I was rambling. But yeah, discipline. Yeah, I got disciplined by making mistakes. So, listen to what I said. Be disciplined before you start, like on the front end. Be disciplined before you have to lose money. Every deal is not a great deal. And any deal that looks good, make sure you do your due diligence on the front end. Internally Rich says you should connect with. Oh, no, I'm way off. How do you connect with somebody who's doing that much volume to add value to them? Well, I'm looking for some help. I'm not doing 60 deals a year, but I am looking for some help. You know what I'm saying? I haven't quite said it yet, but I am looking for somebody that is, let me not say that. So anyway, yes, I am looking for some help. I will be looking for some help shortly. But to find folks that are doing that kind of volume, hit up your local meetups. The folks that are hosting meetups, or the coaches, here's one way to vet coaches, right? Folks that are advertising their services to help you learn the real estate game. Ask them, are they really doing deals, right? Just so happened the guy I was linked up with was a coach, and he was actually doing deals. Most coaches ain't doing deals out here in the streets. So I just so happened to get lucky. But I found, I was able to find that guy through meetup.com. The folks that are hosting your local meetup groups, real estate meetup groups, figure out if they're actually doing deals. If they're coaching, ask them, are they doing deals? And if they're doing deals, hey, can I come, shadow you or whatever, right? Also, you want to look on Facebook groups. A lot of guys that are doing a lot of wholesaling, they're in those groups, and maybe you run into somebody that is a wholesaler that's doing a lot of volume that needs a bird dog, right? Adding value, great way to add value is be a bird dog for somebody. Hell, you a bird dog? Come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? Come holler at me. I need a bird dog. That's how you add value, right? But it's gonna take, you're gonna have to trade some time to learn this kind of stuff. And you're not just gonna be able to link up with somebody and just soak up everything without being able to put something back into them. Need in order to help their business run successfully. So my case was a little bit different, but those kind of folks, they are out here. Anytime you're on Facebook or Meetup and you're seeing people post a lot of deals all the time, they might be doing a lot of volume. You might want to DM them and say, hey, look, I see you doing a lot of deals. Is there any way I can help bring more deals to your plate? Boom. I don't think anybody that's running company is gonna be like, no, right? Would I like to have more deals right now? Sure. So that's how you can add value. Tev, Too Saucy, what's going on? Deja says, how do you know if you're buying too high? Comps. You got to run the numbers, right? So I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you're trying to buy. Let's say you're looking at a house that is listed for $50,000. You see the pictures. You see what it looks like on the inside. XYZ, right? Let's say you pull comps within a quarter mile. Let's just say over a year, right? So you pull comps within a quarter mile radius of that house over the last year that have sold. What you're going to be doing now is you're looking at all the houses that sold within that area over the last year. Now, you're going to be looking for your ARV, right? After repair value. But you also want to look at your as is. So your ARV, you're going to be looking at houses that sold in that area that are fixed up, right? Fixed up, high value. That's how you're going to figure out your ARV. But in order to figure out whether you're buying high or not, just a good indication, is you also look at the houses that pull up the houses that are sold around that area that are around the $50,000 range. And if you see that houses that are in similar shape, similar condition as your house are sold for like $30,000 or $40,000, same condition, same, beat up, all that kind of stuff. Your house is beat up, all that kind of stuff, and they sold for like 50. I mean, not 50, but like 30 or 40. And this person is trying to sell you this house for 50. Then you kind of visually say, well, this don't make sense, right? This house as is, previous houses, previous comps that are in a similar condition sold for $30,000, and I have the same exact house and you're trying to sell it to me for $50,000. Well, I can already tell you right now, I probably shouldn't be buying at 50. Now, if the numbers make sense and the ARV's gone up, great, right? But you can just tell as is value, and this is not the end all be all. This is not, you actually running numbers to see if the deal works. This is just a visual representation, right? Maybe the market, I'm not talking about no appreciation. I'm not talking about the market going up, none of that stuff. I'm just talking about just a general idea, right? If you see your house they're selling for 50 and you see all the other houses that are in similar condition, whatever, sold for $40,000, well, maybe you should be buying your house for $40,000, right? Now, other things affect whether or not that house is actually worth 50, but we're not going to get into that because that's a whole scenario ordeal. But that's a good indication, right? Is as is value. What is the as is value for comps around your area? And your local real estate agent should be able to pull that for you. You want to see as is value comps in your neighborhood. That's what you want to see. And then you should be able to assess whether or not, all right, is this even going to work? Also, buying too high. I know I said I wasn't going to get into it, but I'm not. But just general, the numbers got to make sense, right? If you're trying to buy a house for a certain price, and let's just say the ARV is a certain number, and you envision that you're going to sell it and make $30,000, that's great, right? Buying it at the purchase price you're going to buy it at, putting X amount of dollars into it and selling it for here, and you get at least $30,000, that's great, right? But if you're buying the property right here, putting X amount into it, and the ARV is at a certain point where you might only net $15,000, well, guess what's got to adjust? Your purchase price, because doing a flip and only getting $15,000 is not, in my opinion, is not worth the headache and the stress that goes into doing a renovation. You're probably buying too high. That means you need to adjust your purchase price to be lower so you can net more to make it worth the trouble of doing a renovation, right? Because $15,000 can go like that in a renovation if something were to happen or you didn't unforeseen circumstance XYZ, right? So you want to be conscious of that when it comes to, hold on.
Nails?
You don't have any? Dude.
Papi.
Give me like 5 minutes.
Huh?
Give me 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right. What was I gonna say? Oh, so that's in regards to flips. In regards to rentals, buying too high. You can buy too high, and your most important thing with rentals is cash on cash return, cash flow. You want to be able to understand, not understand, but you want to be able to get a good cash flow percentage out of your rental property. Cash on cash return, right? What's going to dictate you getting a good cash on cash return for your house is your buy. You make money on the buy. And so if you're getting 12% on your buy, right, at a certain number, let's say you're buying at a certain number, you're going to put X amount into it, you're going to rent it out for this price. And that gets you 12% cash on cash return. If you increase that purchase price, guess what your cash on cash percentage is going to do? It's going to go down. So instead of you getting 12%, let's say instead of you buying at 60, let's say you bought at 70. Well, at 60, your cash on cash return was 12%. At 70, your cash on cash is 8. See what I'm saying? And then let's say instead of 70, you bought it at 80, right? Now your cash on cash goes to like 6 or 5. Drastically making your percentages different. So when you buy too high, you run your numbers and your cash on cash return is going down, then you need to adjust the purchase price or your offer price and what you're going to ask for, because you can buy too high and your returns only be like 6% or 8%. That ain't worth it for me. It's not worth it for me. Now everybody runs their numbers different. Everybody has a criteria. My criteria is 12%. I won't go low. I won't go below 12 unless I'm in a highly appreciating area, and then I'll go down to 10. But most of the time, I'm trying to seek 12% and up, right? I have a couple multi-units that are around the 20% range. 20% cash on cash return. That is phenomenal. I have a couple other deals that are just average, 12%, right? But that is my threshold, right? And so what's going to dictate whether I get a good cash on cash percentage is my purchase price and how much I plan on putting into it against the rent rates and all that kind of stuff. There's a whole equation. So I hope that answered your question, Deja. I tend to do these kind of things. PSGP, Terrence Clark. Hey, what's going on? Kalicha, what's going on, brother? Guys, I'm going on 1 hour and 20-something minutes. I do have to go. As you can see, they are moving rather quickly. I hope so, because they got a whole nother floor to do. Hopefully we can get this done before the end of the day. But I got to go help the guys out, and I have not eaten. So I'm going to call it a day. But guys, thank you for showing up today. Appreciate you. If you got some value out of this, screenshot me right now. I don't care if I'm mid-talking, whatever. Screenshot me, post it to your story. Let folks know what we're doing each and every week. That's how you can show me love, because I give you guys 1 hour and 23 minutes of my time for free. I do this for free. Maybe I should start charging. I don't know. Maybe if I start charging, I'll start posting more. I don't know. Would y'all pay for this? Would y'all pay to have somebody just actively just answer any one of your questions about real estate? Or, you can go and not pay and, learn on your own and lose $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Don't do that. If I said, hey, look, it's going to cost you $5 for a monthly subscription, what you guys do? You show up every Thursday. I might even incorporate. So yeah, I'm not doing that. So that's why I say that's the least you guys can do is screenshot me, post to your story, let folks know what we're doing. We're gonna go ahead and conclude this week, 69. Next week is week 70. Guys, remember, making money is great. It's all good and everything, but appreciate y'all life. Appreciate the people that's in y'all lives. Make sure you spend time with them. Make sure you don't take advantage of the time that you've been granted on this earth and with your family and loved ones. You can get wrapped up in making money. You can't take that money with you, right? Your people are on borrowed time, and a lot of times they expect to see you, love you, and you know what I'm saying? So just understand that tomorrow is not promised, dog. It's not. So outside of that, appreciate y'all for popping in here, showing some love today. I think I'm gonna call it the day. So peace. See y'all next week.